Hi guys, in this video I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look into I shot and color graded a pretty challenging music video. The main challenge behind this video was that it involved a jazz band going into the recording studio to record 4 tracks. It was a single studio day with 4 tracks to record, all live in the same room and with zero possibility of playback or reshots, as everything was improvised by the musicians. The videos had to be shot during the audio recordings. The musicians performed multiple takes of each song in full, then selected the best ones with the sound engineer or the best parts of each take. A piece of cake. So now let's start talking about the gear I used. I needed 5 locked-off cameras, one for each musician and one for an overall shot. I used my 2 Panasonic cameras, the GH6 and the S5 For the other cameras I borrowed 2 GH5s from a colleague, and my buddy photographer Jonathan joined me with his Canon R6. Additionally, we used the Insta360 for a 6th angle and backup saving grace shot. We spent the morning while the sound engineer and the musicians set up the equipment, preparing the gear and trying to find the best position for each camera. 2 problems. The first was the environment, a beautiful but not overly spacious studio, with the musicians positioned in a non-standard or balanced manner, so it wasn't easy to find an interesting and balanced shots. Secondly, we had to arrange 5 cameras so that each wouldn't be in the frame of another. Now let's talk about the shooting. The biggest challenge for this kind of work, I believe, lies in organization. By the end of the day, we had recorded over 600 GB of material from 6 cameras for 4 different songs, with at least 4 or 5 different takes for each song. In such a situation, the danger is spending days just organizing and making sense of the footage. Organization during the day was crucial, a clear, precise and above all a fast way of working, because we absolutely couldn't slow down these audio recordings. Here is how we did it. For each song, Jonathan and I would enter the recording room and start recording on all cameras. The sound engineer would kick off the recordings, and before leaving I gave the take, stating the song number and take number. For example, song 1, take 1, chuck! We repeated this process for each take and for each song. At the end of each take, we quickly entered again, started a new recording for each camera and cue in again. After finishing a song, while the musicians went to the control room to listen back to the recorded material, Jonathan would remove all the memory cards from the cameras and replace them with another set of 6. During the next song, between cues, I transferred the footage from the first set of memory cards onto an external hard drive, already sorting them by song and by camera musician. This way, by the end of the day, everything was already archived on the hard drive, organized into folders for each song and each camera musician. Furthermore, on the technical side, batteries. Throughout the day we had batteries charging, and for each song we replaced not only the memory cards but also the batteries. Finally, at the end of the day, when all the tracks were recorded, we asked the musicians to play a couple of songs freely to capture some hand shots, facial expressions, etc., to use as covers if needed. Naturally, we didn't record the instrumental parts as they wouldn't sync with the audio, but it was for visual coverage purposes. If you work well during the shooting day, editing a video of this type isn't particularly difficult. The sound engineer sent me the tracks on this way. For each song, he sent me the choose and take from the musicians and a pre-master already edited with cuts. In DaVinci Resolve, after selecting the same take, I sync them with the corresponding audio files and then merge them onto the general track of the pre-master. At this point, it became a normal multi-camera editing process. The client requests a dynamic, moving video with static shots only during solos, so it was about jumping between the various musicians, emphasizing whoever had the main parts and stopping on a camera during solos, occasionally cropping the shot to avoid staying too long on static shots even during these moments. Now let's quickly talk about the video color grading process. I recorded using Panasonic's VLOG profile. In DaVinci Resolve I applied two color space conversion nodes, the first one transforming VLOG into DaVinci White Gamut, and the second one positioned at the end of the node chain transformed it into the Rec 709 color profile. Then I created additional nodes between the two color space nodes to adjust the exposure and perform basic color grading. For this project I didn't want to create a particular look. The video is supposed to be a live studio recording, so I simply aim to keep everything as natural as possible. I also applied a slight denoising at the beginning of the chain. Filming this video was quite a challenge, even though I didn't require much artistic work or planning. It taught me a lot from a workflow management perspective. The final video hasn't been published by the client yet, so I can't show it to you, but follow me on Instagram because I'll share it in my stories as soon as it's public. I hope this video can help you and give you ideas for your future projects. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And leave me feedback in the comments on this type of video. It's the first one I've done showing behind the scenes of my work, and I'd like to know if it's a format that interests you. Bye from Passo!